Yo, what's going on, guys? Back in once again, and this time here talking about My Hero Academia. All right, just did Boruto, just did Attack on Titan. So if you guys haven't checked those videos out, please go ahead and do so. After you watch this one, of course, if you haven't watched those first. But anyway, My Hero Academia. This episode 59 and 60, I believe, is what we'll be covering today. Just giving you guys my review, my thoughts. And so far, talking about episode 59 first. That episode was really good. It was very good. It's like the climax of the hero test that they're trying to get their licenses, so that way they're one step closer to becoming official heroes. And it was a more centered episode around, I believe the dude's name was Isan or Nisa. Dude looks like M. Bison from Street Fighter, okay? And he's from Shiketsuha. He's the dude that looks like a dictator. That if you don't know who M. Bison is, just look up M. Bison on Google. He's freaking one of the Street Fighter bosses. You guys know exactly who I'm talking about. And Todoroki. So these guys are butting heads, and this dude's got beef with Todoroki because he had been very discouraged, and he was a Endeavor hater. And as a result, he pretty much hated on Todoroki by association, pretty much having flashbacks showing that at one point, before he even went to Shiketsu, he was actually in UA, and he was the kind of student that was always trying to be the best and always competing, but Todoroki did not seem to really care about him, and he could pretty much tell that he had someone else on his mind, and he basically was making the same assumptions and being like, oh, you have the same eyes as him. And obviously Todoroki, took, that kind of to heart. But mind you, this is all going on while they're actually being tested, and they're getting attacked by the gang Orca, whilst all of the other people are trying to save the civilians that were, hurt or whatever. And the whole purpose of the test is they're trying to put them in a safer position, bring them to safety, while fending them off as the villains in this situation. They're not actually villains, but in this situation they were. And Todoroki and this dude over here freaking were constantly butting heads, and they were literally arguing in the midst of battle until Midoriya came in with the shoot style and literally said, "What are you doing?" Because they're if this was a real life situation, they could have first of all put a lot more people in harm's way, and it showed that they did realize that after the fact, and they try to make up for it. So they then were paralyzed off of the Orca dude's ability. He had supersonic waves that could paralyze. It was a really cool ability, and even while they were put down and they were still on the floor, they were still able to put their differences together subconsciously and teamed up. And Todoroki, shot out his fire, and then this dude is all about wind. So of course you guys know from Naruto, or just by common sense, wind will make fire rise, aka helping out this whole situation for the better in their situation. And Midoriya was also being the final cherry on top of the whole situation. And right when it looked like they were about to put a dent on this Orca guy, the test had ceased. So the test was done at this point, and they finally are going to reveal who passed and who failed. And they were also going over how they are explaining how the point system on the pass fail system is basically everyone starts at 100, and based on the amount of mistakes you make, that's how you lose points. So if you get to 50 or below, you fail automatically. So of course they're being tested on how quick they are on their toes, the decisions that they make, and the actions that they take. So I thought that this episode was very good. It was very enjoyable. A lot of good interactions. A nice blend of action, dialogue, backstory, flashbacks, all in one. Really good stuff. Now, I'm about to watch episode 60 to talk about your quirk. This one is about Midoriya and Deku having that conversation. Deku is finally gonna come out and tell Midoriya that he knows that his power is all BS, hand-me-down from All Might, and it's pretty much they're gonna have a fight from what I can remember and from the manga, because they are like this close to where I left off. So I'm in the danger zone right now. And then All Might is actually gonna go ahead and have a talk with All for One. So this episode right now, all I gotta do is hit this X button on my controller to continue this. I'll be right back and to give you guys the rest of the review. All right, we're back here now. Just finished watching episode 60. Man, another dialogue heavy but very, very good and detailed episode. I will say that right now. They first off, they were talking about, you know, how the scoring worked, like I just said in the last part, where they started from 100, and based on their mistakes and decisions they made, they lost points based on that stuff, and then once they got to 50, they failed. However, they didn't just altogether remove those that did flunk and just remove them out of the whole entire test. They basically let them stay so that the way they can see what they would do, rather than just, you know, pull them and say, oh, you failed. They'd rather leave them in there and see, like, if they try to make up for, you know, whatever. Not so that they get points back, but so that way that they could, you know, do the right or right their wrong, if that makes sense. And also they wanted to explain that out of the 100 people that were taking the test, they had all the intention of passing or giving their provisional license too. That's why the first part, they basically weeded out all of the other hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students that, you know, were not cut or fit to be a hero. Because right now the whole purpose of this test is that they're trying to really bring about a new generation of like refined heroes or potential heroes. So they had every intention of giving or making sure that everyone passed. So with that being said, out of everyone that failed, being Todoroki, Bakugou, and the Isana dude, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but Bison. We're going to go with Bison, okay? Bison, those three are the only ones that failed, okay? And they were automatically given the notice that, hey, like, don't worry, don't feel discouraged or feel like you're separated. Like, even if you failed, you're still going to get a second chance opportunity at taking an individual test in like a few months' time or whatever. And of course, they were hyped to do it. There was some apologizing between Bison and Todoroki. And then shortly after that, we see the scene with All Might talking to All for One. And basically, like, All for One is being kept like in a prison, like so far beneath the earth, like he has no connection or idea of what's going on the surface. But through his conversation with All Might, he pretty much like guessed everything, and the conversation ended with All Might saying like he's not gonna let Shigaraki kill him. He's not gonna die. He won't die, and that he will smash All for One's ideal future down. So like whatever All for One, like what he wants to happen, All Might's making sure it's not gonna happen. And then lastly, we end the episode with what the title basically says. Talk about your quirk. They leave the titles, you know, like direct definition for the ending segment of this episode. And this is a conversation between Bakugou and Midoriya. And this is basically all heavily carried by Bakugou, giving all of the evidence and the insight and how he believes that Midoriya and his quirk, well, that the quirk is not originally his and it was passed on, it was given to him. And basically Midoriya like kind of figured that this is what their conversation was gonna be about, and Midoriya kind of doesn't like deny it, which basically confirms it, and it ends with Midoriya saying, "What are you gonna do with the answer?" And then Bakugou is like, "We're gonna fight right here, right now." So I think that, and I remember this part too. Is like one of the best parts. I would say it's pretty hype. And it's kind of scary all at the same time because it's like Bakugou is like in that weird gray area. Like he wants to be like All Might. All Might is his childhood hero as well, just like Midoriya's, and I'm sure of many other um aspiring heroes to be. But you know, obviously we've been teased in earlier episodes that that Bakugou could possibly turn into a villain. I don't think he will, but I mean, they are almost setting him up to be one, if that's even a thing. And I don't know, like, I think that because of how he feels about All Might, as long as he keeps those feelings, I think that he will stay, you know, the anti-hero or hero that he is gonna grow into. But that's the key. As long as that's kept like intact, then everything will be good. Otherwise, who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much that episode. Those are the episode recap reviews right there. I thought they were really good. I thought this episode in particular, episode 60, there was so much that happened in just one episode. It felt like there was like 3 sections of just events that took place. So it felt like a very long episode, even though all these episodes are like the same length. But yeah, sorry, I don't know if you hear my dog barking. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys thought about it. I thought it was a really good episode. I thought it was a good bunch of episodes, I will say that much. Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you guys thought about the Discord, especially on Discord. Make sure that if you're supporting the channel and all the good things that are coming your way, if you're liking the videos that I'm doing right now, check out my Patreon page and consider becoming a patron today. And if you're supporting the boy and you're supporting the anime, well, guess what? Funimation also supports Uchi Games. You could go in the link and click the link in the description below so that way you guys can make a free Funimation Now account so you can support anime the legal, free, and the right way. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead now and finally get to the last bit of my anime marathon. And I'm going to finally catch up with Black Clover. I saved that the best for last because I figured a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people have been telling me that Black Clover has been getting really, really good. So I'm almost like regretting not doing at least a reaction to the latest episode of Black Clover. But again, you know, I'm still not 100%. I have a headache right now as I'm recording this. I'm still trying to rest and recuperate. So until then, hopefully by next week we'll be back in action, full throttle, fully fledged, full speed ahead, doing reactions again. But until then, we're going to just stick it to these simple reviews. So, thanks, guys. I'll see you guys next time.